Hello and welcome to a new series on the Jeff's channel. This is anime for us, Jeff's version or whatever I should call it. With me, I have Jodha-chan.
Wow. Oh god, we're doing this again. Hi.
Panda said go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Oh god.
And then we have Panda Baka.
Expecting Nissan cool. What the fuck?
I was really thinking about like senpai or sensei, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go with that.
Trail.
So with this show, we are gonna be the main people, as I call it. I don't know what else to call it, the main cast or whatever. You should see us three here each episode. I hope. I'm
Yes.
looking at you guys, even if I can't see you, but I'm looking at you guys.
I was the only one here. I was the only one here. I'll remind you that.
Shut up.
Hey.
But the thing with this show is each, not week, but I'm gonna say every other week, we're gonna try and get an episode out. I want to, like, the weeks we don't have the JFS show that Mark started, we will have this anime for us. And each episode, we are gonna decide an anime to watch for the next episode. So, like, we have already decided on anime we were gonna watch for this episode, which I'm gonna talk about later. And at the end of this episode, we will say what we're gonna watch for the next episode. And we're gonna watch like 5 episodes here in the beginning. We're gonna see how long this takes, and then we're gonna decide. It's a testing now, okay? Just
First episode, the test episode.
yeah.
It's the
Best
pilot.
episode. Best episode.
First episode, the episode you fuck up everything.
First episode, the episode that gets us banned.
But yeah, then we're also gonna talk about what we thought about episodes that we watched, and yeah, see what people think about it. The animes that we are picking are either animes that all of us have watched, or a few of us have watched, or none of us have watched. So pretty much any anime. It's for us to watch new things. Okay, more for you guys.
Well,
because I'm the fucking weeb god of the group, I think.
I agree.
yeah.
This is the show to be proud about it. Like,
Yes,
brag out.
finally! I found it! So, yeah, we decided that we are also gonna have guests every now and then. I'm not gonna say that we're gonna have it every week. We may have people that watch some anime, or like are not anime noobs. So they will join us in this conversation. They will also watch these episodes that we decided on and join us in the conversation. Or we take a freaking noob out of the group, Muck, Lemons,
Weather.
and we will give them a few animes to watch the first episode of, and then we'll hear their thoughts of it and just talk about that, just to see what they think about the different kinds of animes. Because when you hear anime, you think about like, oh, is that funny animated thing? But there's some fucking gore out there or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Creepy as fuck.
No hentai, by the way.
Yeah, no hentai.
Actually, maybe a little hentai.
Yeah. Looks bad.
But anyways, before we start talking about the anime, let's talk about how did you get into anime, or like how did you find it? Don't give us a life story, please.
Well, my story takes place in
Goddamn.
1985.
But kind of like, what were your first animes, and did you like start immediately when you watched these animes, and or did you start later on or stuff like that? And do you want me to start since I'm already talking?
Or senpai, go ahead.
So
Senpai Nayxerr.
actually, the first 3 animes I can remember that I watched, of course, the original Pokemon, which I think a lot of people watched as kids or something like that. Or you watched Digimon.
Yeah.
Or
But then the third one, I think a lot of people. Actually, I've been talking with Moklak, and he recognizes this anime. Card Captor Sakura.
oh
I
yeah,
love card captures.
that's the best.
I remember like it was on the TV and they had it was pretty much every day they had one episode and it was like perfectly timed, so it was like 1 hour or 2 hours after I got home from school, so like I didn't have to rush home. I just walked home, watched TV, and then I'm like, oh look, Cardcaptor Sakura.
Nice.
And I had a friend who also watched it, so we could like talk together about it, and yeah, made me more interested in it. But then that wasn't how I started watching anime.
Yeah.
The way I've started watching anime is through Mindcrack, and you can probably guess how.
Yeah. Yes.
So I watched Etho, and yeah, he has Kakashi, and I remember I was just watching YouTube, and then I saw Kakashi like in a thumbnail. I was like, "Wait, that's Etho's skin." And I just watched it. I'm like, "Wait, it's from a show," and I just like then a few months later on, I decided I'm gonna watch that show. I remember it's Naruto, and I found it and I started watching it, and then my life just got drained by anime.
I actually wonder how many kids think that's just Etho instead of knowing it's Kakashi.
I hope not a lot. Like,
I hope not a lot. Yeah,
yeah,
I would be sad. Kakashi
Yeah.
is dope. Etho is not.
Oh,
no.
Whoa.
wait. Shots fired.
Fired.
So who's next? While I'm drinking my soda.
I guess I could go. So, like Nayxerr, I started back in the day with like Dragon Ball Z. Pokemon was one,
Woo.
and another one was Sailor Moon. Now that I
Oh,
remember coming home
no.
every lunchtime and just watching it on TV, and then go back to class.
Oh.
It was.
You
It's
lived
next
close
level.
to school or something?
Yeah.
I lived like 10 minutes away, maybe.
Ah,
Not even 10 minutes, like 5 minutes.
wow.
So
That's a
I've
next
always
level
lived close to
commitment.
school.
Yeah.
So Jodha was like, fuck my friends and fuck school. I'm going home to watch this girl transforming.
well, I used to eat lunch at home. I never
Mm.
really hung out.
Yeah.
But I didn't really start watching anime till who? Actually, I've pretty much watched it my whole life, actually. Because the channels over there, they have anime nights on like Friday nights where they
Oh.
show like random animes. I remember watching the Gundam Wing movie
Yeah.
on that channel. Favorite anime movie of all time, Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. Go watch it. But yeah, I remember watching Bleach and wanting to watch more of it, so I looked it up on. This was like 2006. I looked it up on YouTube and started watching anime on YouTube back when YouTube didn't have any rules. But eventually, that love of anime grew to watching more and more. And yeah,
I was gonna say I did actually the same thing in 9th grade, but I did it with Digimon. Like I went on YouTube and watched every season they had.
Oh yeah, I did that with Naruto as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I had to find better ways because YouTube became stupid and the quality became bad and stuff like that.
Yeah. I guess it's my turn then.
No.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like the anime shows. There was like regular TV, like Pokemon, all that stuff we said. I didn't consider it anime, but the only thing that stick with me like throughout the time it's Naruto. And after it was finished, I was like, okay, now like what do I watch now? And that was like the thing that like changed my mind about this is not a TV show, this is an anime, and I watched it like on my computer. And I was just like, okay, let's find new stuff. That's pretty much how it happened.
Yeah. And now
Yeah,
you're
I think
here to
most of
find
us-
even more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm
Yeah,
pretty I think I'm the like most unexperienced out of the group. I haven't watched that much.
I would say
I would say me.
equal. between me and you, Panda?
Maybe. I mean, like you have 800 One Piece episodes over me.
Plus the manga. Plus the manga.
Like just
Got him.
Yeah, like I don't think I can ever compete with that. But sure, why not? Let's say we're even.
I mean, I had like a really falling out with anime where I didn't watch anime for like the longest time. I just read mangas like One Piece, Bleach,
Yeah.
but
It's kind
yeah,
of
now I
like,
want to get back into it.
it's kind of like lately I have not been just interested in it, like finding new animes. Like there are a few I have started watching and I've gotten quite either like straight through them or stuff like that, but it doesn't happen often. I instead
Yeah.
watch like
Oh,
the week episodes that happen, like Boruto, Black Clover,
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I keep up to date on those instead.
yeah.
Except,
Like I watched all the common ones, like that I didn't watch until then, like Fairy Tail and stuff like that. And now that I've caught up, like I need new stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jodha, you also destroyed my One Piece weekly episode because since I read the manga, I do not feel like watching the episodes.
You're welcome.
I hate it.
Uh,
I want to watch the episodes, but I don't feel like doing it. And now I'm
Yeah, I
like,
went
I have
till
like
there's like
10 episodes of One Piece to watch now. I don't feel like watching it.
at least it's something to binge watch when you
true.
do feel
true.
like it.
I'm bored.
Yeah.
Bored AF. AF.
Yeah. I mean, it's like one chapter an episode these days.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, I've noticed that they're not much in the episode, like the chapters. I thought there were more in like
Yeah.
each chapter, but it's not much happening.
no. It's like they should honestly have a major filler season or
Yeah,
take a break.
It's 800 episode. Destroy the series. Eliminate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
like what I want out of One Piece is like just make filler episodes instead of dragging out a whole arc in millions of episodes. That's what they're doing. and It's so boring.
That's your humble opinion, though. Like people hate filler episodes. Don't
Yeah,
forget.
but
Yeah.
I'd rather watch a filler episode instead of watching the same conversation in 10 different episodes. That's
As
literally
long
what
as-
they're doing.
As long as it's not like Naruto and have a filler in the middle of another arc. Sure.
Well, like My Hero
Middle of a
Academia
fight.
did now. They just put a random episode in the middle of the arc.
True.
That was weird.
It was
cool,
like,
though.
what the?
I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad episode. But it's like, why in the middle? Why couldn't you have waited a bit? Well, that anyways. That's for the future talks.
yeah.
Yeah. Future talk.
So first, before we start now, since now people know about us, I want to say here that spoilers. That's it.
Yeah. Spoilers.
I highly recommend if you wanna like, even if you have watched this, the episodes, go back and watch them and join the conversation before you start, or like start, because then you will be updated. And I noticed, like, I was like, I know these episodes. I watched through them. I'm like, holy crap, all this happened.
Like
I was like,
dude.
what? But the first anime we're going to talk about this episode is Seven Deadly Sins, which I think you, Panda, watched first.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I watched it first.
Because I remember I saw it and I was like, this looks like a dope anime. I want to watch it. But I could not find it. I literally could. I don't know what happened, but I Googled and I could not find it. And somehow I found this other anime, which is like about kind of the same thing, but not the same thing. And I've watched that instead, but yeah. But I found it and I caught up with it, and now I decided to watch the first 5 episodes of it. And Jodha, you are a noob at this, so yeah.
Yeah.
True.
It would be interesting to hear what you think about it, since this is completely
Yeah.
new to you.
Yeah.
So, I may jump stuff and just tell me something that you want to talk about that you remember happened during the episode, and stuff like that. First of all, I want to ask you, Jodha, because I forgot to ask you
Yes.
before we started recording this.
Hi.
Did you watch the intro?
Yes.
You did? Then we can talk about that. What did you think about the intro? Did you think
I
fit, or-
enjoyed the music.
Okay.
The music is really good. Did they have the intro in the first episode? I noticed. It was
I
until the
don't
second
remember.
episode.
I don't remember.
They didn't have the intro in the first episode. So
Didn't they have the talkie part though?
Yeah, they have
they had the talkie part.
Yeah. That's why I don't remember, because I skipped that talkie part
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They had the talkie part in the first episode. They just didn't have an intro. But
Okay.
in the second episode, when they had the intro, I liked it.
Okay. Because Panda and I actually thought about it, and we were both like, it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the music.
Yeah.
Music.
The music itself
really
is
good.
fine, but I don't think like it fits the theme of like the whole series.
Yeah.
And the stuff. Yeah.
But I don't know. In my opinion, I didn't like it that much, to be honest. But that I
think
don't know.
I think the music is fine, but I don't think it fits like for
Yeah.
the anime.
should be more hype.
Exactly.
But yeah, so Seven Deadly Sins. The first episode, we get to see some boar hat thing, whatever, bar. Yeah, whatever it's called. I don't remember. I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
And we see there's a kid running it, and people are talking about the Seven Deadly Sins in there, and the kid asks about it, and then a random dude runs in and is like, "Oh, I saw the rusty armor that everyone is talking about," and then they're like, "Pfft, that's something we just told to scare the kids."
Yeah.
And then the rusty armor came in, and everyone runs out except the kid who's owner of the bar. We also get to see the pig, Hawk.
Yeah.
The left,
Talking pig.
what was it called? I don't know if he said it in the earlier episodes, but the later
Hog
episodes.
ass hog. or
No,
something?
no. It's like later in the episodes, he became like, what did he became? The leader of leftovers,
Yeah,
something like that.
the Night of Leftovers.
Yeah, he gets that title or something like that. He self-proclaims it,
Like
pretty much.
no, it's like after they found her with the rusty armor,
Yeah,
like
okay.
the knights come and like they knock at the door and like
Yeah.
give the rusty armor armor, and he
Yeah.
comes out with the armor and says he's the leftover
I
knight.
cracked up when I
That
saw
was so
that.
funny.
But yeah, the rusty armor falls over, and we notice it's a girl, which then she fainted, and the kid takes care of her, and then she wakes up. Well,
Really takes care of her.
Really takes
Yeah, I was gonna say she woke up while he was grabbing her boob.
Yep.
And for people who spoilers, as I said, this happens a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot.
If not boobs, it's something else.
Yeah. It's God, face under skirt. I mean, he did it multiple times.
Like
Take
that's what
off
I
her
think the anime part of it, like, okay, it can be like an animation, but he just grabs her boobs shamelessly.
Yeah. It's just like, what the?
Yeah.
And then
She
like
doesn't say
and
anything.
the thing is, like, she just wakes up, she's looking at him like, oh, who are you? Well, he is literally still grabbing the boob. They're just looking at each other, and he's like, squeeze, squeeze. Oh god, dreams.
Oh.
If life was just that easy.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
If only.
But yeah, they then we notice there are like these knights that comes to the hut, and that's when the pig is like, "Oh, I am here. I'm the actual knight," because the knights are looking for the rusty armor. Which then they notice the girl runs away from the house, and they chase her. And then stuff happened. They get into a fight with Twigo, I think his name was.
Turtwig?
No, not Turtwig.
Uh,
I think
No, it's not Turtwig.
I'm pretty sure it was just Twigo.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Voice crack.
Yeah. Puberty.
Yeah. And when they get into the fight with Twigo, they just fall off the cliff pretty much immediately. And then he's like, "Pfft, they're dead." And then they jump back up. So, and he's like, "How did you like even consider to survive or something like that? How dare you survive my hit on you, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he tries to kill them again, and that's when we notice that this kid is Meliodas.
He's hella buffed.
Or the Dragon Sin of Wrath.
OP, please nerf.
Hella buffed.
Oh, you think he's OP now?
Oh god, I'm
Yeah.
expecting amazing
Spoilers.
stuff.
Did you watch just 5 episodes now, or did you watch?
Yeah,
any more?
I've only watched 5 episodes.
Okay. I was just wondering if you watched any more because need to
Let's
drink a little bit.
Yeah, so I'll just say like whenever like he like kills them, like tried to kill them when he cuts the cliff, it's like he's even his own knight fell down
Yeah,
and he didn't care. Like it was
Yeah.
pretty.
that's what
Like
we noticed.
he looked evil.
That's what we noticed with like all of the knights. They literally don't care about each other.
Yeah.
But the thing I also noticed in the first episode, which I thought we would get to know, but we see Meliodas not like, or not killing, but damage Twigo a
Yeah.
lot. But we don't get to know the name of the attack at this time.
True.
I noticed that because we will get to know it later on. Not actually, I don't think we get to know it in any of these episodes that we watched.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
sure
even
it's the
later.
first season as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
maybe it's the end of first season or something like that.
something like that, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah. But
But-
like also his sword, it doesn't have like it's broken.
Yeah,
It doesn't have like the
Yeah.
blade itself. It's also worth to mention.
yeah. So it's
I'm assuming we get more backstory on that.
Yeah, just like it's worth to
Yeah.
mention. It's like
Yeah.
pretty weird. He still carries it around.
yeah.
Uses it, but it has no like blade.
So that's pretty much. Or yeah. Then after this fight, we get to know that this girl, or during this fight, we get to know that this girl is the princess of the kingdom.
Third
Uh,
princess.
Yes, Elizabeth, and she.
Muck's roommate.
Yes, it's Liz.
Oh my god, we found her.
And she is looking for the 7 deadly sins because she knows that the knights are evil, and she then thinks the 7 deadly sins are good people, and she wants to gather them to help save the kingdom. Pretty much.
And
Yeah.
we also learned who the 7 deadly sins are. Like we don't know them personally, but we know like they were holy knights and they betrayed
Yeah.
the kingdom and killed the king, and therefore they were like
Not the king. Not the
criminals.
king. The Grand
Oh, the Grand Holy
Knight.
Knight. True.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's pretty much the first episode. Like, the Elizabeth, the meeting, Meliodas and Hawk, they get into a fight, and then she's like, oh, I'm looking for the 7 deadly sins. So
Yeah, it's like a background episode.
yeah, so I would say it's a good introduction to the anime. Like,
Mhm.
it's you get to know that she is looking for these 7 deadly sins. It's not like you have already a group of 7 deadly sins that are just doing adventuring.
Yeah.
And we also get to see cool fighting.
Yeah, the fight was like not exciting, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It was just a tease of his
Yeah, exactly.
power.
it's like when if you're watching this episode, you know about the intro. I was looking for clips for that intro, and I was gonna take this Meliodas versus Twigo fight, but I was like, that's literally the like most non-epic fight like in an intro, because
Yeah.
he literally does this slow motion slash, and then the slash happens. It's like, it's no like quick slash or stuff like that. It doesn't look that epic, but it still feels good.
Yeah, it has like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Then off to episode 2. Liz,
Oof.
Queen Liz, Meliodas and Hawk are arriving at the village of Burnia.
Yeah.
And this village was or is famous for their, like, I think it was the world's best ale, or like in the
Yeah.
top ale or something like that.
I would like to visit this town.
Because the herbs that were like next to the river were like perfect for the ale, but as they get to the river, they notice the river is gone, like it's drained, and the herbs are dying. So they're like, okay, there's some problem. And they go into the village and they notice that, oh, there's this huge crowd. Is there a festival? And they even ask that, and the people are like, how dare you call this a festival? This is not a festival. We're having a problem here. And they notice that there's a sword in the ground, and we get the backstory that a holy knight came there, tried their ale, and it was disgusting, and that he even said that it was the most horrible ale he has ever tried. And one of the kids, I actually don't remember the name right now. I didn't write it down either.
Me something.
Oh, Mead. Mead. I'm pretty sure it's Mead.
I think so.
Yeah. And he's, how should I say, he's like the troublemaker of the village.
He's Naruto.
Yeah, he's the kid who wants attention because he doesn't think everyone, or like they all love him or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he got angry that they said this to like his people. I don't know what to call it, but his community.
His caretakers.
Yeah, that like they have spent all this time making the ale, and the Holy Knight just said this is horrible. And he threw an insect in it, and the Holy Knight got pissed and put a sword in the ground, which stopped all the water in the town.
Yeah.
And then there's some talk here and there, and then
arguments, blah blah.
Yeah, and then they were not holy knights, but like the underlings of this holy knight.
Yeah, they were busy getting drunk.
Yeah, they came to town and said, okay, we're gonna increase the taxes but the townspeople were like, oh, but we don't have any ale, we don't get money. Why are you gonna do this? And they're like, that's not our problem. Get rid of this sword so you can make some ale then. And they just sit there getting drunk, laughing at them, and that's when Meliodas walks in and is like, bitches, get out of my way. And he just pulled out the sword with one hand right after we had seen like pretty much the whole town trying to pull it out together, and he just took it out with one hand, and the underlings ran off, and the townspeople was like, hooray, so much fun. And then they celebrate in the boar's head.
Yep.
And that's when it's just interesting when you see it the first time. That Meliodas is like, okay, I'm just gonna go out, take a piss, and he just has this feeling that there's something coming, and while he's talking to Queen Liz, he's like looking up into the sky, and actually right before this we saw the Holy Knight throw the spear, Sir Gilthunder. I would never remember that if I didn't write it down.
How would you not remember it?
I don't know. My memory is bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, he threw the spear, and it was not close. Like they're not like 10 meters away from each other. It's far.
Yeah.
And Meliodas is just standing there, and right at the end of the discussion, he's like, "Here it comes," and he just catches the spear and stops it, and then throws it back. And
definitely one of my favorite scenes.
Exactly. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, this is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Definitely my favorite scene, I should say.
It's just so like it's funny in a way that like he throws it back, and then you see this whole explosion in this building where Sir Gilthunder is, and then one of his underlings is like, "Sir Gilthunder, are you okay?" And then it just shows Sir Gilthunder like his head. He tilted his head a little bit to the left.
Yeah.
And the spear is literally right next to him. He has a scratch on his face. So that means like it was fucking close.
Yeah.
And I would just say like this is a good like kind of get to know the people. Get to know Elizabeth, get to know Meliodas, get to know Hawk. And we
involve his OP power.
Yeah, and like we get to see like Gilthunder, which is like an enemy now.
Yeah.
And we kind of know that he is gonna be after like the Seven Deadly Sins. He even said it like he's gonna get rid of them himself. That's like his thing. So he like just from this episode, you know he is coming back.
Yeah.
I think it's a decent episode. It has funny moments. It has like cool moments. It has
One really badass moment.
yeah.
Yeah, like
As serious moments. I would say
Yeah.
two badass moments when you see not really as badass, but like him pulling out the sword with just one hand. That shows like he has some power.
Yeah.
some.
Some. Well, you still don't know. We don't see the numbers yet. You know what I mean, Panda?
Yeah, I know what I.
Wait, numbers.
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
If you continue
Don't
watching,
worry
you will
about
understand.
Is this like a Dragon Ball Z thing?
Yeah,
Break the
he
scouter?
doesn't know Dragon Ball Z, but yeah, pretty
I
much.
actually know about the thing. It's a goggle.
It's over
It's a
A
9,000.
thing, or what I
It's
should call
over
it.
9,000.
I've seen it.
It's much over 9,000. Trust me.
Yeah.
But yeah, these first two episodes, it's like just kind of like get to know the series a bit.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was wondering how they were gonna do like the other Holy Knights, and seeing Guild Thunder throw that spear.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, these guys are gonna be a formidable foe against
Yeah.
the Sin of Wrath.
Yeah, but like one of my favorite scenes, like even like the old throwing thing, I like with the spear, but I like how he's like talking to her casually. He doesn't really listen. She complains.
Yeah.
He's like, wait a second, catches the spear. That's like crazy. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
Oh.
It's like casually doing that after all that power.
But the end of this episode, they, I think it's this episode, they talked about how Mead, if he wasn't gonna be a good boy, he was gonna be put into the
Yes,
Forest
yes.
of White Dreams. And
Yeah.
Elizabeth heard this, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" And they're like, "It's a horrible forest." And then they kind of think that maybe one of the seven deadly sins will be in there hiding,
Mhm.
since, as if you didn't understand from earlier, they are on the run. They are hiding from the Holy Knights
Yeah.
in different ways.
Sorta, yeah.
But then episode 3, that's when they enter the Forest of White Dreams.
Yes.
And I think this is actually one of the funniest moments.
Yeah.
Like this whole, like, they just walk through the forest, Elizabeth, Meliodas, and Hawk, and all of a sudden we see multiple hawks,
Mhm.
just multiple pigs, just screaming, and then a little bit later, or like after a few of these hawk funny moments stuff, these other multiple pigs suddenly becomes multiple Elizabeths. So we have a ton of Elizabeth, and Meliodas sees the chance, and he's like, "Oh, let's have some fun with this."
Giant orgy. Ah, yeah.
So he's literally like, I think the first one was like, put your right hand up and your left hand on your cheek and say my name or stuff like that. Or then it was like, say my name embarrassingly, and he just
Rope your breast.
yeah. And then the last one, he was like, okay, jump as high as you can. And all the other Elizabeths jump as high as they can, except the real one, because before this whole thing, Meliodas stole Elizabeth's pantsuit. Panties. Yeah, he stole her panties, so when he wanted them to jump as high as they could, she couldn't because she didn't have any panties, so she would have revealed some stuff which she didn't want to.
It's like he knew all along that would
Yeah.
have happened.
And after this, that they reveal that Elizabeth is like, she doesn't want to jump. All the fake ones turns into prankster imps.
Yeah.
And it's just a funny moment, that whole thing. I love it. And the prankster imps runs away, and they or Meliodas is like, okay, they must be running to someone, because where else are they going? And that's when we meet Diane, the serpent sin of envy.
Giant woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about her, Jodha? Like from just first sight.
I love giants, man. I love giants. But she has an interesting personality.
Yeah.
She has the oh, what's that anime trope where they're in love with the main character but not in love, but the main character doesn't love that back.
There's like a billion.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna
it's
say.
like one of the most common anime tropes, and
I can't
works.
think. I'm just thinking of Tsundere, but no, no, that's
There's
when.
like a billion.
yeah. No, I didn't know what sins he was at first. I didn't know she was envy.
Yeah,
Even when they said she was envy, I didn't really realize it. I thought she was a lust, but
yeah. I like the thing I find interesting with these kind of animes is it's interesting to see what role they get.
Mhm.
So we see like Meliodas, he is Wrath, but he also has the dragon.
yeah,
So he has like those two roles, and it's just interesting to see like what kind of combination are they gonna do. And she is
Yeah.
the serpent sin of envy. So
yeah.
I don't know, I liked it. And when I saw these two, like when I saw dragon and serpent, I was like, are they gonna do like the zodiac signs? But then the third one is like, nope, fuck that.
Yeah, that's a big no.
But maybe it's from somewhere else. Like I don't know. There are a lot of like different animal groups out
Well,
there. So-
Maybe it could have represented the dog. Maybe. I don't know.
It could be, but I don't know. As I said, there may be other things that are linked
Yeah.
to that has more with like Japanese stuff
Yeah.
to
I'm like trying to think of like the sins in Western culture right now.
do. But yeah, we get to meet Diane, and we notice she is in love with Meliodas, but she is jealous of Elizabeth because she noticed that those two have been traveling together, and Meliodas is Diane's boyfriend, according to her, pretty much. And then Meliodas is like, but we don't have a relationship. There's nothing in between us. And that's when Diane just starts punching him like into the ground, just slam him and stuff like that. And he just like takes it as a man.
I was expecting like a very cool fight here, but whatever. Like,
I
they're teammates, I guess. I don't know what I expected. Like,
Yeah.
We do get a fight though,
true.
because
Like,
a
that fight.
fucking Sir Gilthunder is back, boy. He followed them.
coming through thunder like a fucking boss.
He followed them into the Forest of White Dreams, and he attacks them.
Mhm.
And what have I written here? Oh yeah. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck have I written there in the next part? But Meliodas is like, Diane, stay out of this. I can handle this by myself. And she's like,
Yeah.
okay, Taicho, or whatever it's for. I think
Dancho.
it's Dancho.
Dan-
It always sounds like Taicho.
It's Dancho for sure.
Okay, well, good job on you, fucking Japanese weeb.
Get good. Is what I have to say for you.
I don't listen to what they say. I look at the animation and read.
Not like she's like yelling it all the time. Everybody's yelling it pretty much.
But yeah, during this, or like also during this episode, we get to know a little bit more of the backstory. Like Meliodas talks about how they found the great holy knight who has been killed.
Yeah.
They just walked into the room because he wanted them, like the great holy knight wanted the seven deadly sins to come to him just after a war or something. And they were like, oh, what is this for? Are we gonna like celebrate, or is he gonna give us a prize, or what is this? What does he want with us? And then they walk into the room and they see him hanging on the wall with a ton of spears through his body. And they're like, what the fuck happened here? And right then, we hear a ton of holy knights outside just yelling. The seven deadly sins walks through the window and they're like, uh-oh, we about to be fucked.
Yeah, they realize they got like set up for the kill.
Yeah. and Meliodas is like, okay, split up. We're gonna meet later. That's the last time they met up. Like they were in a group.
Yeah, 10
Uh,
years ago.
Yeah,
10 years ago.
and we see like the camera zoom to Meliodas, and it says something like Captain ...
Yeah.
Sorry ... and then Meliodas is like, that's the last thing I remember.
Mhm.
And then he woke up somewhere randomly, and that's how he got out.
And then they've been on the run ever since.
Yeah. And then Gil Thunder and Meliodas starts fighting.
It should be mentioned that Gil Thunder and Elizabeth, childhood friends.
Oh yeah, they know each other.
And also, I'm pretty sure like we know here that Meliodas like used to train Gil Thunder back when he was a Holy Knight.
Yeah.
Like it's really important to know. Like they know each other.
Yeah, it was like when Meliodas went to train, Gil Thunder used to join as a kid, just follow him and join in the training.
Also,
Was it in this episode that was revealed that Gil Thunder was the Holy Knight's son?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. That's why like we know he especially wants like to chase down them just because they killed his father. He wants to revenge.
Yeah. He wants revenge and he wants to be proven that he's a legend. That took down
He's
one
better
of the
than them. Yeah.
deadly sins.
Yeah.
That he's top dog and these other guys, they're nerds.
Yeah. I was also gonna say like a little bit about this episode. I think this will like it gave us a lot more backstory, so we know what has happened now.
Yeah.
And we understand like what the whole problem is. Why are the Holy Knights after the Seven Deadly Sins, kind of thing. And then
I think the pacing of the backstory that we're getting in these first few episodes, it's really good pacing.
Yeah.
Yeah, agree. It's cool.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go in like smoothly here from episode 3 to episode 4 because I don't remember what happened in between here.
There was like an awesome fight. I have to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say like here in between, because
sure.
I know the first thing I wrote on episode 4 has to do with the fight too. So in like somewhere in between episode 3 and episode 4, like the transition between those two, they start fighting, and we see that Meliodas is getting fucked.
Yeah.
So to us, like when you first watch it, you're like, holy fuck, these Holy Knights are amazing, because we know that Meliodas is fucking strong.
Yeah.
He like the whole like throwing spear thing. That just show like Meliodas is strong, but now he's getting fucked by this Holy Knight. So that means the Holy Knight must be stronger.
Yeah.
But as they're doing the fight, Gil Thunder kind of fucked up, and he was like, yeah, after I'm done with you, I'm gonna go for the next two. They're in like Bass Dungeon and somewhere else.
Revealing his plan.
Yeah, but like it was not like that. It's more like they fought like, and he slashed his back. Like he thought he was dead, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get the other two now."
Yeah, and that's when Meliodas like, teehee, that did nothing.
Yeah,
and like Meliodas was just taking the hits, but it did nothing to him. Just so he could get that information where the next 7 deadly sins are, and then he literally like I love that whole dodging thing. Like he's so fast, like he's teleporting from the slashes that Gil Thunder did.
Yeah,
that was just I love that. And then he just like Diane. I love that too. Diane just picks up Gil Thunder and like, bye. And you just
have a great time.
And like Meliodas had said something like, "We're done here," or like, "We gotta go now," or something like that. And Diane just picks him up and it's like, "He said we're done here," and just throws him away. And you just see Meliodas just waving like, just like a straight face, like, "Bye."
It was the Team Rocket. We're blasting off.
It was just, I loved it.
But I have to say, for this fight, like I was kind of disappointed because Meliodas was really on the defense. He never attacked pretty much.
Yeah.
It was like kind of but I know why he did it, but you know, you expect more from like the beginning of a series and stuff like that. But it was I love like Gil Thunder so much. His effects, the thunder stuff, it's awesome.
I can't wait see like the full-on fight between these two.
Exactly.
But after this, they decided that they're gonna go and pick up their third member, which is they said was gonna be Ban, the Foxen of Greed from Bast Dungeon.
Now, can I just say I love like greed characters in like animes, like Full Metal and stuff like that.
I agree.
I kind of feel like this is one of my top characters out of the Seven Deadly Sins. I've told Panda about this before when I watched the Seven Deadly Sins, that there's one character I love, but I'm so fucking confused about that character. So I don't know if I should love or hate it. But like when we first got to see him, I was like, I love that character.
No, definitely.
Now I'm just confused. But I would say like Ban is in the top for me. I love Ban.
Like just from the little we get to see him in this episode, it's like I want more.
Yeah.
Give me more, man.
But as they are on their way to Bast Dungeon, Meliodas is like, I'm just gonna go and take a nap, just like restore my body and stuff
Heal
like
up
that.
this wound.
Yeah, and that's Elizabeth was a little bit worried, so she was gonna go and check on him, and she came into the room and he was laying on the floor, and that's when she was like, "Oh fuck, we gotta get a doctor."
Yeah.
So they start looking for a doctor in Dalmary town.
Yeah.
And they found one. And
can I just say the doctor remind me so much of like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
True,
I know.
Say that.
when you said like, I just want to let you know, I'm like, okay, he's gonna say that because it really looks like him. Oh god. The thing is, both did a bad thing.
True, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like they're so alike. It's crazy.
And wasn't like the girl named Elizabeth or something?
I don't remember what the girl's name was. It was something on
gotta
E.
look this up.
E something.
I don't remember.
I think it was Elizabeth too.
No, I don't think it was Elizabeth. It was close. It was like Elise or Els, something like that. Are you finding it?
I'm looking at.
Okay, well, I'm gonna continue then.
Yeah.
So the doctor gave the healing things, and then Diane is like, okay, well, I can't do anything, and she just she doesn't like Elizabeth at this time. She doesn't want to accept Elizabeth to the group because she likes Meliodas, and she noticed that Meliodas is kind of close to Elizabeth.
And kind of close.
kind of,
yeah.
As close as touching boobs and sniffing panties, and so Diane is like, while you, Elizabeth, are taking care of Meliodas, I'm gonna go and get Ban from Bast Dungeon. And that's when Elizabeth is like, I'm coming with you. And Diane is like, you can't do shit. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I can't do anything to help Meliodas right now, but you can't do anything in a fight.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to be stronger. I don't want only to help. I want to fight.
Yeah.
She's like, you're nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when we get a little bit backstory about how Diane met Meliodas. And it was like, Diane is of the giant race. And we know that the giants are hated by humans.
Yeah.
As we noticed in this backstory, that like the humans were like, you're giant, you shouldn't be here, and they just start attacking her. But that's when Meliodas just came in flying like, hello, and I'm gonna save this young lady. And yeah, whatever. And that's when Diane fell in love with Meliodas.
Yeah.
And right as we finished, or right as this backstory got finished, we get to see the weird fangs, which are holy knights at Bast Dungeon.
I love the design of their armor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like all the armors are pretty cool. I have
Yeah.
to admit.
Yeah.
Also, the girl we're thinking of, her name was Nina.
Oh, you're thinking from the.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were thinking about the girl from this.
Oh no, I was talking about the.
Full
Like
Metal
the-
Alchemist.
I was
Yeah.
I was thinking if you were talking about the doctor in this, her daughter,
Oh,
No.
because that was something like
no.
L something. I remember.
I don't know if it. Did we get a name for the
Yeah.
daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I just wanted to say my daughter. She's
Mhm.
like over there, and he
Yeah.
said the name. Yeah, so we get
Dana, the name of the daughter.
what did you say?
Dana is the name of the daughter.
Oh,
Dana.
well, it was close to Nina.
Oh no! Dana
No,
is
Dana
the
is
doctor.
yeah.
His
Dr.
name
Dana.
is Senate. The daughter's name is Senate.
Senate? What the?
Senate.
Okay, you must be drunk.
Weird.
But yeah, right after the backstory, Frisia of the weird fangs.
Frieza. Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm pretty sure that's Frieza. From the weird fangs, the girl attacks
Yeah.
Dalmer town, and she attacks with bugs that spits poison
Bug
or
girl.
acid.
Bug
that-
girl.
Bugger off. And they spit poison, which like, what's the word?
Melts.
Acid.
Melts.
It's
uh,
acid.
Yeah, like it just melts everything. So it's pretty much just a rain of acid.
Mhm.
We're getting high.
No, God.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But this is when we get to see Diane's power, which is like stone pillars coming out of the ground.
Oh, that was badass.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
And I think this is like, now we actually get to understand that not everyone is gonna have this similar powers. Like like Twiggo had a slash. Like,
Yeah.
oh, unique. It's literally like you could do that with anyone who is like good with swords. Like Zoro from One Piece. He has swords that he just slashes through a ton of things. It's not that unique.
Bleach.
Meliodas, we don't like really know his full power right now. We don't know like what his power is at this point of time. Then we have the lightning. Like that's, yeah, it's a standard thing. But now we have stone pillars coming out of the ground. It's like, what the fuck? Now we're starting to see things.
Mhm.
Uh,
Powers and such.
yeah. And Diane gets rid of the bug, even if she hates bugs.
Yeah.
At first, she sat down, almost crying on the ground.
But then powers through it for her captain.
Yeah. And then Diane decides to go to Bass Dungeon. And while
She
she goes.
jumps out of town.
Yeah. And when she is on her way there, it cuts back to Elizabeth going back to Meliodas. And she was looking there, Hawk and Elizabeth was looking at the Meliodas, and they were like, it looks like he's sleeping so calmly that it looks like he's dead. And the doctor
Yeah.
came in and he's like, well, of course, I gave him poison to kill him.
Yeah, like it was obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, what the fuck did you do? And
Supposed to be a doctor.
yeah. And then, as we're getting to the end of the episode, we cut over to Bass Dungeon for the first time.
Oh.
Or not first time, but
And let's talk about that.
Ooh.
yeah. Now we
I love
get
it.
to see Bon in person. And we just see this dude stuck in a cell, really hairy, like a lot of beard, a lot of hair just on his head.
Yeah.
He's just whistling in there, and the guards outside are like, "What? Where's this whistling? Like this dude has never spoken in like, what did it say, 5 years or something?
Yeah,
He's
think
10,
so.
I think.
He hasn't.
Oh no, 5.
What
Yeah.
was it like? He hasn't eaten or drank or talked in 5
Eaten.
years.
Talk. Yeah.
I think
that.
I think there were those 3 things, and he's still alive.
And he's been tortured
yeah,
all this time.
and he's still alive in there, and he literally had like giant what should you call it, spikes
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
things,
Giant metal spikes.
yeah, through his limbs, just stuck to a wall. And he's just chilling in there. He's just whistling his life out there.
Yeah.
Just the time of his life. But he breaks out all of a sudden. He just kicks the door open.
Yeah.
And the guards are like, "What the fuck? How did you get out? What? What?" And
How is this possible?
he just pulls out the spikes out of his limbs, just like one by
Oh.
one. And you just
Casually.
see this, yeah, you just see these giant holes in his
Just-
arms and legs.
Just that was like, oh, I'm in love with this character.
And it's like, what the fuck just happened to this dude? And then we get to see Jericho, who is like an underling to the Weird
Yeah.
Fangs, who's working here at Bass Dungeon. And she's like, okay, these dudes, the underlings underneath her, like the guards, go and tell the Weird Fangs that, Ban just broke out,
Yeah.
and I had no other way to do it than kill him.
Mhm.
So she's planning to kill him. And
Yep.
I just love that. The first thing she does is literally like this cool thing. You see them pull out the sword, fly through the character they're about to attack, just slash around, and the character is screaming, which Bond
Yeah,
did.
cut in half or something like that.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
Bond is just yelling here, like, ah! And then he like slowly is like, you could be a nice hairdresser. I was like, what is this dude? I don't even know.
There's seriously something about Greek characters in anime that,
Yeah.
hey, they're badass. Don't mess with them.
I love Bond. And
Mhm.
Jericho is just confused because she's like, how did you even survive that? Like, you should be dead by now. Like, with
Yeah.
all the, like, spikes through your limbs and stuff like that. And he's like, what scratches? Like, I'm nothing. And you could see his body is nothing. No holes after the spikes. No slashes from the sword. Nothing. And he points at his scar at his neck. And he says, this is a real wound. Like,
Yeah, he said it was one special case like that happened.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, you gotta do some real good job to make a wound on that dude.
Yeah.
Definitely a big boy.
And that was the end of episode 4, so the cliffhanger I would say there is just like, we get to see Bond being
Yeah.
freaking OP.
Wait, not take her clothes this episode?
Maybe.
That was like one of
I
my
don't know.
favorite parts. It's like, you have some nice clothes, it doesn't fit you. Like,
Yeah.
give that to me.
I think it's the episode that they revealed it.
I mean, spoilers for future episodes, but that's a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
But him just doing clothes.
I remember the one time when he's like walking, he just got a jacket, and someone's like, "How did you get that jacket?" And he's like, "I just found it." And then it's like cuts back to him walking on the street. He bumps into a person, and the person is like, "How dare you bump into me?" And he's like, "You have a nice jacket. I'm gonna take it."
That sounds.
He's like, he doesn't care about the bump. He's like, "You have a nice jacket. I'm gonna take it."
Sin of greed.
Yes.
jacket is so greed, man.
And then we are on to the last episode 5 that we watched. This is when we get to see how Bond got the scar. And
Now I'm glad they didn't like wait and like just played it out on how he got the scar.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just say, yeah, this is a real scar and stuff.
yeah, I think it's also like with just him showing the scar, like the backstory, it's slowly building up Meliodas. Like the power of Meliodas, because the way Bond got the scar is Bond was really interested in that sword that Meliodas had, because no one is allowed to touch Meliodas' sword.
Yeah.
And Bond is like, oh, well, can I see the sword? And Meliodas is like, don't touch it. And he's like, what happens if I touch it? And it's like, you don't want to know. And he literally like grabs the sword and tries to pull it out, and that's when Meliodas does the scar thing.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I'm so glad on how they're revealing the backstory. It's definitely at a good pace.
Yeah, and also like in the last 4 episodes, like you barely see Meliodas like do any expression except smiling.
Yeah.
And I love like at this episode, he's like, "Oh, I never got to see you mad," and he's like,
Yeah.
"Don't
Yeah.
touch it. That's the only thing that
Yeah.
makes me mad."
So
Ooh.
it's this funny thing, like, don't fuck with Meliodas. If he does
Yeah.
like, he doesn't have a lot of things that will make him mad, but if he does one of the few things he has, he will be mad.
Oh yeah.
You done fucked up.
Yeah.
And also this backstory kind of gives us the hint what is about to happen, because Golgius or whatever, of the Weird Fangs appeared, like, maybe it was in episode 4 where when he appeared
Yeah.
like in
The very end.
in the doctor's place, and it's like, I'm gonna kill Meliodas right here and now. And
Yeah, but we learned like that he was like behind the scenes telling the doctor to
yeah,
kill him because he has his daughter.
yeah. And Golgius, or I don't know how to say his name. He's like,
It's a good name.
yeah, it is. He's like, I'm gonna take this sword because if Meliodas is dead, he doesn't need it anymore. So I'm gonna take it. And that's Meliodas is like there laying dead and holding the sword. And as soon as Golgius grabs the sword, Meliodas is like, he like wakes up again.
Yeah.
And that's, you like, what the fuck is wrong with this
Yeah.
dude?
Like, holy crap.
And I remember Meliodas even said that even if I'm dead, I'm not gonna let go of his sword.
Yeah, he said that's the only way
Yeah.
he can repent his sins.
Yeah,
That's how he said. Like,
yeah. And then Golgius runs off.
I think we have a vision of him and that knight on the ground.
yeah, when he sees like
Yeah.
the other, like, we don't really know who it is, that girl.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, okay, yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking if it was her, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't really know who it is. We just see her like
Yeah.
dead,
Yeah.
pretty much.
We just get the hint of
Yeah.
she might have something to do with the sword.
But then Golgius runs off, and they run after him, and Golgius kills the doctor randomly there. Like, they see the doctor, and the doctor's like, please, all I wanted to do was just, like, get my daughter back. Can you please
I
die?
did your job. Please
Yeah.
give me my daughter.
And Golgius just appears behind him and just stabs him.
Yeah.
And-
We'll see each other again
Yeah.
in heaven.
So we have noticed that Golgius, like, disappears and reappears at different places. So he reveals that his power is teleportation.
No, like
feels
Hog,
there's a
Hog
ninja.
says it. Hog says it.
Yeah,
He's like,
but
oh yeah,
Golgius like agrees with it. It's like, yeah, my ability is teleportation. And then as they continue with this, trying to get away from Golgius, Hawk says something like, it's weird because you can still feel his smell.
Yeah.
And then Meliodas is like, ka-ching, what I should say. Like, an idea popped up, and he's like, okay, well, we're gonna go to this place. They walk into, like, this old house that's, like, half broken. And the Hawk is like, how are we gonna survive in here? He's just gonna find us. And Meliodas is like, well, wherever we go, we're gonna die. And he does the weird swing with his sword. And Hawk is like, what did you do now? And Meliodas is like, just a spell.
Yeah.
I love that. Just a spell.
This is
And then all of a sudden, Golgius just appears above, like behind Meliodas, and Golgius is like, "Nah, I got you." And Meliodas is like, "Are you sure?" And that's when Golgius just falls through the floor. And now the true reveal is that Golgius' ability is invisibility. So he's literally just been running after them, invisible. And I had to put this in here.
yeah.
I had to put this in here. This is the first time we hear Meliodas say "sate sate sate,"
That's like my favorite thing in the series
Like,
ever.
yeah, like he says it so many times, and it's just one of the best things. Just the sate sate sate.
Yeah, it's like the most like nervous situation and stuff like that. He's just like, sate sate sate, what now?
Yeah. Wasn't there like a song that linked to you or something
Yeah, I
about
have it right
This
now.
is so-
I have it right
Someone
now.
made a song out of it, just the sate sate sate. Oh, I love that. That's like the best thing anyone says in the series.
I linked it just in case maybe we'll put it in the description and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Sate sate sate.
Oh my god.
And as they have now defeated Golgius, one of the weird fangs, Meliodas and Elizabeth and Hawk are deciding to go for Bass Dungeon. Right before they decided this, Meliodas and Hawk were the only two that were gonna go, and we just see this friendly like fighting between those two on the bridge.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. They just like fought a dude, a holy knight,
Yeah.
and now they're just like joking around here.
Yeah.
And then Elizabeth just comes up behind and she's like, "I'm gonna join you." And this is now we get into an interesting fight, in my opinion, because now the group encounters Diane,
Yeah.
who, as you may remember, she left for Bass Dungeon earlier to find Bon, and she is like, "Oh, it's you guys," and then we see that she is looking at Ruin of the weird fangs all of a sudden.
Yeah.
She starts attacking Ruin, but then we see her attacking Meliodas, and it's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
And then they run away. They find like a father and son who was like hoarding sheep or something like that. And Meliodas is like, okay, well, all I can do is try to stop Diane. And as he's about to go and stop Diane, he sees Ruin of the weird
a giant
things.
version.
Yeah.
Of Ruin.
And he just starts fighting Ruin. It's kind of a stupid episode to end at episode 5, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's like in the middle of a fight. And also, I'm pretty sure in episode 6 we get to see like one of the best interactions.
Yeah.
No, like it's an interaction between Meliodas and Bon, and they get to see each other for the first time.
Can't wait. I can't wait for that.
But yeah, like now Meliodas starts fighting, so now we are seeing Meliodas fighting Diane and Diane fighting Meliodas,
Yeah.
while they are thinking they're fighting Ruin.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that fight for this episode. Then we cut back to Bon, who meets a Jude of the Weird Fangs.
Yeah.
And Jude is apparently like a pro-torturer or something.
Yeah.
He's the guy that tortured
Yeah.
over all these years.
Yeah. And then Jude was like, so you're not gonna leave? And Bon is like, I'm going to leave. And as he's about to like walk past Jude just puts a giant spike through Bon's body. And
Yeah.
you just see like Bon cough up blood and then a smirk on his face.
Oh, I just love that. Does he pull it out? No. Right?
I think it's just like that in both of the episode, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I noticed actually with most of these episodes, there's like after the ending, the outro, there's a bit of anime still there.
Yeah,
And
I didn't realize that between episode. When was it? When did they fight Guild Thunder 2?
That's
The
3.
beginning of the fight. 3.
3 and 4.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was something at the end, and I like went into episode 4. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I was also so confused. I was like, what the frick is happening here?
Yeah, same.
And
It
I
was
went
in
back
the
and
first
watched it.
episode, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much all we have seen so far. And yeah, so Jodha, as this is your first time watching this anime, what is your opinion of it so far?
So, besides it reminding me of Full Metal Alchemist a lot, I think it's a good anime. It definitely has the right amount of action, the right amount of comedy.
Yeah.
I don't care for the fan service. It's whatever.
I mean,
It's there for people who cares about it.
I would say if you watched Fairy Tail, fan
Yeah.
service, who
Yeah.
needs that?
Yeah.
Who needs that?
Who needs other fan service? I got Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag
In a
Lucy
skimpy
for life.
bikini. I'm a. What's that blue hair girl name?
The book girl?
Levy?
Or...
The book girl.
Yeah,
Levy.
Levy. Levy.
I'm her. She's. Yeah.
What? What?
Well, wrong anime. Let's continue.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it has the right amount of action, right amount of comedy. I was a little concerned on how they were gonna deal with the Seven Deadly Sins being these OP people,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the Holy Knights also really OP. So
Yeah.
I can't wait for the epic fights.
Mhm.
And the thing is, we still haven't seen like the true powers of them.
Oh,
The-
spoilers.
Well, I'm saying like Bon. We haven't.
Yeah.
The only thing we have seen is he can take hits.
Yeah.
Even Meliodas, he hasn't
Yeah.
like barely attacked.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like we have seen that Diane can shoot stone pillars, but we haven't seen much else.
So I have a theory,
Okay, go ahead.
and I'm guessing you guys don't have to say if I'm right or wrong, but I'm guessing the animal symbol that they have, they could transform into it. So Meliodas can become a dragon. Stuff.
I neither gonna deny or confirm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm
my
not gonna
other
say
theory
that.
is that Hawk is one of these sins.
Okay, that's a cool theory. I'll take it. The knife of the leftovers. Gluttony.
The leftover sin.
Sin of gluttony. Let's go.
The leftover sin.
The leftover sin.
You left food on your table or on your plate.
You go to hell now.
Oh god. Well, for you, Panda, since you and I had to rewatch it, how do you think about it now again?
Like I talked to you before we even started the episode and stuff like that. I ran through the 5 episodes like it was nothing. I watched it like straight, demolished it. Like I'm so hyped to know what's coming that I almost want to rewatch it. Like honestly, I think it's one of my favorite animes. Even though I end up saying it almost in every anime I watch lately.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like this one is so well made,
Yeah.
and for you, we didn't say it at the beginning. There's like 3 seasons, and we're waiting for season 4. And I'm pretty hyped about everything, pretty much.
Mhm.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and everything that happened, like when you, as you said or told me before this second part, like I'm kind of counting it as 2 different parts. The first,
Yeah, that's
like,
yeah. I agree.
when the first part ended, you're like, there's nothing left to do, and then like this whole new thing just came up, and it's like, what the fuck? Where did
Yeah,
this
it's
come
different
from? But
from-
it's still fucking cool.
It's different from other animes. There's no like break or fillers. It just continues
Yeah.
with the flow, which I really like.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like between each episode it feels like a break instead of like you. It continues. It doesn't like stop and you start a new thing. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It just continues all the time.
Yeah.
Definitely the way the anime goes, it flows nicely with like the storytelling, the backstory, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It has a really nice flow too.
It puts the right thing at the right moment,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
anything is too much or too less. Like
Yeah.
even the fights, they may be quick, but they satisfy you for a bit and like makes you want more
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the time.
I really like this anime. As I said, my favorite character is still not in any of these episodes.
This thing. we'll
I don't actually know who's your. Is it the last
it's
one?
no, it's the next one. I'm pretty sure they find.
Oh,
Yeah,
Really?
I really
like
like his his weapon, but
I guess.
spoil.
Yeah.
I like the. I wouldn't want spoil stuff. I like just like the variety of it. It's
Yeah.
pretty versatile. I like that. But yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. There's a lot of unique weapons too.
Yeah.
You don't even know. Like we, it's the future. Don't worry.
It's the future.
I was gonna say, as Panda just said, that the character he likes, his weapon is very versatile. So
Yeah, that's what I like.
I can confirm that. I mean, if you think about it, it's not just him.
That's true.
It's
but
actually all of them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I specifically like the variety of that specific.
Yeah, but
and how
yeah.
it works.
It's very complicated when you can't. I know.
Yeah,
I know
I don't want
Jodha doesn't really care much about spoilers, but I still don't want.
to-
I want to let you
yeah.
watch this when you want to watch it, and then
Exactly.
you know where we are if you want to tell us about something that you're hyped for.
Yeah.
That's why we have this show. Well,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, should we do something like this? So out of these 5 episodes, even for you and me, Panda, if you had to rate it out of 5, what would you rate it?
it's kind of like not fair because I know what's coming.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if you try and delete everything.
4 out of 5, I would say. I personally like more fights.
Yeah.
Like actual fights, and not like, okay, I'm hitting you, then you die in one hit, sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's less of my thing. I like more of an even fight, like
Yeah.
outsmarting and stuff like that. But everything else, I think it's, and the intro, I guess, it's like meh.
Yeah.
But everything else, like the flow, the characters, the world itself, I really like. You have like a good balance, like, you know, like a nation is worth like a holy knight, and the best holy knights are the best. There's order, a lot of perspective. I like that. The world itself, it's pretty cool.
So what would you rate it, Jodha? Also, I was just thinking, as Panda just said, there's a lot of stuff in it. I know you're all about the lore for animes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for like the backstories and how these OP guys became OP.
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out the main character's backstory.
Yeah.
Like it's enough. The backstory that they reveal is enough to make me want like more.
Yeah. And if you had to rate
to make me satisfied, but make me want.
Yeah.
But definitely, if I had to rate it, definitely a high 3.5 stars out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
More leaning on to the 4 side.
Why did you reduce points? I wonder.
Okay. Besides the fan service, like that's the only thing I don't care about. It's like,
okay, we need to watch some anime with some more fan service.
Yeah.
We need to get you in here, okay?
Did you get this to be the hentai podcast?
I was gonna say, like, there is animes with more fan service than Fairy Tail.
Oh yeah, I've
We'll
seen
get there.
those animes.
But I'm not saying fan service as hentai fan service, but like.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen all types of. Okay, let's moving on.
So if I had to rate it, I wouldn't say like, yeah, I love fights, but I'm not on the level as Panda. I know he loves them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like in between you guys. Like Jodha, you're more like about the lore and backstories and stuff, while Panda is more about the fights. I'm like in between. I like both. Like I want an equal amount of both, if I can say that. And I feel like just the way they have so far like revealed characters and showed like kind of where they are in the rankings, like. If we say out of the 7 deadly sins, the 3 we have seen so far, Diane hasn't really showed much yet.
No.
But we have seen Meliodas being fucking OP. And we have seen Bon just like
badass.
He hasn't done shit and he's like fucking OP. Literally, he hasn't done shit.
he can't die. Like
He's
what the-
just just standing there like I don't even care about you, and then he just gets hit, and it's like, oh well, fuck, I got hit. Whoopsie doopsie.
Take this spear out of my body.
that's true badassery.
So I think I actually would go up a step instead of down, and I would give it a 4.5 because I think the fights are good enough for me. Like that's I like fights that drag out a little bit, but this early on in the anime, I like these short fights just to get as much as possible information to us.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's still, but it still shows like they're good.
Yeah.
But that also builds up for like later fights in the anime.
Yeah, definitely everything that they're building toward, like the Guild Thunder fight they're building towards
Oh yeah.
is something I'm gonna look forward to.
So they're still just placing the bricks for the castle here.
It's a tease.
Yeah. But I think it's a really good anime. I know a lot of people are talking about it, and I wouldn't say this is one of those that 50-50 love, 50-50 hate. It's like this one is more like up there in the love one.
I agree.
But yeah, I think
Like definitely I've heard about this anime before. I just never really consider it.
yeah, and that's what this show is for.
Yeah.
Us finding new anime so we can be more weebs than we are already are. I don't know. Well, anyways, we are gonna end off the episode, but before we end off the episode, we are gonna reveal what we're gonna watch until next episode. That's what I'm gonna
On the
say.
next episode.
And we decided we have a whole list of animes here, and we said until next episode we want to watch an anime that none of us have seen. So we picked Assassination Classroom. And I know, like Panda, you said you had watched like 1 or 2 episodes or something like that. I have watched a few episodes, but I dropped it.
I think I've watched the first episode. I've read a bit of the manga.
Yeah. Like, I know what happens at the end. I've seen YouTube videos because I was like, I'm never gonna see this anime anyways. I know it's like loved in there too, but I'm just
You're terrible.
Seen clips of it.
Yeah.
But I really sat down and watched a bunch of episodes at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
But definitely I'm gonna be interested.
So
Is both the anime and manga over?
I think so.
I think so. I know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know actually. I know the anime is like for now is done, but I don't know about the manga.
I was gonna say I'm not really up to date on it, so yeah.
Yeah, same.
They also
It's
have
new
a
for all of us.
movie, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. As I said, I'm not up to date on it.
Dang it! Oh, they have a game for the 3DS.
What? But yeah, so if anyone who's a fucking weeb watching this, if you want to like join the conversation,
If you want to join in on the conversation,
yeah, if you want to understand what we are talking about, go and watch the next 5 episodes. I think we will stay with 5 episodes because we've been talking for like 1.5 hours now. I have been recording for 1.5 hours, and I think 5 episodes is good enough.
yeah, definitely.
I agree.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this weeb time with us and my giant cup of soda here.
I had to mention it.
Yeah.
Yep. Me and Panda being good boys and drinking water.
I've been drinking enough water today, okay?
Are you sure?
Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna end the episode here. Hope you enjoyed this anime for us with me, Jodha, and Panda. And we'll see you in the next one.
Woo.
Maybe we'll have a guest.
Maybe.
Bye bye.
See you.
Bye bye.